All right, our next speaker, in addition to being a growth strategist, was also featured in the Cannes Film Festival documentary Happily Ever Laughter. I think singing an intro. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Charity.
Hi, I am Charity Wright-Golden. I'm going to be talking to you about the humanity of data today. Here's a little snapshot of me. I was so cool to see like the linear with the dates and all of this. I'm a didactic thinker, think in pictures, visualization. So here is my little map of me. My family, wife to one man, mother to two children. I have originally from Plant City, which is the winter strawberry capital of the world, and it's about 25 minutes from here. Raised by a single mom who worked 4 jobs 7 days a week so I could have opportunities that she didn't have. So I literally showed up first day at Barnard College, Columbia University with overalls, pigtail braids. Hey y'all, I'm Charity Wright. So I bring a nuanced perspective because stepping into a culture that wasn't familiar to me sparked this growth mindset, and it's been on fire ever since. So my hope today is being able to challenge some of the cerebralness that you all have, this talent of IQ, and I'll be able to bring a little value add with a bit of EQ. So the purpose of this monologue, because you can't ask me questions, is I want you to be people, and I want you to have places and companies of excellence, optimization, and integrity, okay? Why? I'm going to read to you. Integrity. Leading with integrity and empathy requires vision and then a connection to your deepest self. Carla McLaren. Shelley Francis says, it takes courage to create a meaningful life of integrity. It also requires good company, good colleagues, good consultants, good people, and practice. So today we're going to practice a little bit. I promise to be gentle. And we're just going to challenge a little bit of maybe the under-access notions and aspects of ourselves to see if we can take growth and take that mindset to the next level. I encourage each of you to grab Martha Beck's book, The Way of Integrity. Longer quote there, but we need to move on. Why do I want to talk to you about this, about integrity? Because I want you to build a life and a legacy that you are proud of. We are all going to make money here. You're here to learn. You're here to be a blessing to your family, to your friends, to your community. And then what? When you have all the money that you could ever spend, what do you want your life, what do you want your legacy to be about? So we're going to talk about that today, okay? All right. So Charity, this sounds great. Yeah, life, legacy, and integrity. What do I have to do? Well, today I'm going to request your trust. Trust is something that is earned, and we haven't had that opportunity yet. I encourage you to request trust from people in your life, from your employees, instead of require it. And I promise to be gentle, as I said, because I'm married to one of you. My husband is a triple major computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, predictive analytics, introvert engineer. So again, I'll be kind, be gentle. And I'm going to ask you to maybe take a break for 16 minutes and 52 seconds from looking outside to the world, analyzing it, figure out which approach, is it descriptive, prescriptive, diagnostic, to the outside world, and just take a breath. We're going to take a couple in a few moments to look on the inside. Because to me, when you do not fully leverage all of the skills, strengths, values that you were born with, raised with, nature, nurture, you're leaving money on the table. And I'm not interested in that as a growth strategist. Okay, so your reaction may be, okay, who is this? Who's this chick? Like, whoo. And that's okay. But I'm going to make a business case to you. When you marry EQ with IQ, longevity and differentiation is the yield. And as AI and other technologies continue to be more dynamic and robust, you have to figure out a way to differentiate. How are you going to compete? How are you going to attract and retain talent? Innovate and continue to provide value to your clients and grow. It's really important that instead of chase, you say, am I stewarding well myself, my time, the people, their talents, their perspectives? Am I optimizing that, right? Excellence, optimization, integrity. Those are the kind of people, professional leaders, and visionaries that we need for this space. Okay, so this is my mission, to show you the value of marrying EQ with IQ. It's what I do in my practice. I want you to bring your full selves, your head, heart, hands, and like, let's get some work done, all right? And I promise you will be, I'm taking a note from Tanya yesterday with the baby Yoda, the Grogu, and that this will be you. So, all right, I'm requesting your trust. So together, Zoomies, make sure you're tuning in. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths together. This is a practice and a ritual that I want to encourage each of you to bring into your homes, your companies, and your community. So here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And last one. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. It's really cool to hear you all exhale for us all for just 14 minutes to maybe be on the same page, for us to slow down the ever moving brains and to really tap back into that and to connect. Because the point of differentiation, that EQ plus IQ, is that connectivity, the communication, and being able to fully leverage all that you and your team and your community bring to the table. All right, so the reason why I know that this adds value is, as a growth strategist, I've had my own practice for 6 years, been growing companies, and hopefully there are people for the last 9, is there's kind of 3 reasons why I see companies struggle and fail. And we don't have enough time to go deep in all of this, so we're going to focus on the 3rd. But one is holes in the infrastructure. When you're starting out and you're building a company, you need to bootstrap. Resources are limited. You've got to be kind of scrappy. So there are holes in your infrastructure. Maybe it's legal. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's your HR. Understandable, because you're just building that first level, right? Okay, but then more resources come because you're hustling. You're doing the thing. You're operating authentically with integrity. And the second story comes. There's still holes. 3rd, 4th, more overhead, more people. What happens when one day the shit hits the fan? The flood comes. What happens? The water comes into that infrastructure, that holy infrastructure, and it cracks that infrastructure. This is not to scare you. This is to say, as you are starting out, or if you find yourself right now, hey, we've got holes here, make a list. Figure out a way. We need to prioritize this and check this off the list. You can be strategic about resources. Maybe you need to hire a fractional CTO, a fractional CMO. Maybe you need to do this and share a piece of the pie. Maybe you need to bring collective people to come on board with you and share a piece of your company with that to fill in those holes, okay? If you're gonna build a skyscraper, you gotta have a firm foundation. All right, the second thing is I often see companies, clients of mine, where they're more concerned about comparing and competing than operating with integrity, that alignment of the head and the heart, right? They're looking, it's kind of FOMO, it's our culture, how many likes do you have? I get it too, right? Like, I'm building a global network for women. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, so I get it. But what I'm talking to you today, we're gonna get it as we're building solutions, is when you operate from this place of integrity, right? Head, heart, hands, that alignment, and you activate that, that's your point of differentiation. That's how you can identify teammates that come alongside you, that come along and sacrifice time, or maybe sacrifice a little bit of salary because of that alignment. These are real things. And when you go out into the world with, this is who we are, what we value, what we're on a mission to do, you don't have to worry about your competition. Do your competitive analyses, that's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. But you come from a place of authenticity and integrity, activation of that, not worried. Last thing we're gonna talk about more in depth today is the under-leveraged assets, and really, I just mean your talent. So whether you are a business owner or maybe you're a student, right? All the way from Norway, from Latifa, right? I want to talk to you about under-leveraged assets. I am not interested, again, in leaving money on the table. I cannot tell you how often these clients, these brilliant founders, a little bit of founder syndrome, they get so wrapped up in their solutions and their this and that they're not listening to the 24-year-old who has a really brilliant idea, or the executive assistant that's been with them for 15 years and seen every growth stage of that company. I want you to be aware and sit in a posture of curiosity and humility and a growth mindset that can come from anywhere. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that. Okay, so the under-leveraged assets. All right, the famous management consultant Peter Drucker says, culture still eats strategy for breakfast. How many of you have come up with like the most brilliant strategy ever? Everyone raise your hand. Go, raise your hand. Yeah, strategies, okay. And you're like, we spent so much money and we got these such brilliant people and look at their PhDs and look at and that's amazing. My brother's a PhD, love all you geniuses. If you don't take care of your people, if your culture is one of intimidation, fear, or people cannot come to you with an idea because you're going to shut it down, that culture will eat up whatever strategy you put before. You cannot, by yourself, make an entire legacy happen. It requires community, commitment, connectivity, buy-in, communication. So this is why this matters. Marrying the IQ, the brilliance in these tools. Oh my gosh, you guys are so smart. You're so, just sitting back and listening, I'm like, oh my God, what are these formulas? Brilliant, okay? I love it, it's amazing. And you've got to fill in the gaps of what your company, your clients, the world needs. So you must go and get centered in a place of purpose and mission and connectivity. All right. Okay, so I'm a solution Sally. I grow companies, right? So if you can either get out a pen or your notes app, I would really like you guys to take notes on this because it's 4 points really quick. All right? I want you to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I getting up every morning? Why am I trying to grow a company, selling a company? Why? What is the purpose of your life? And listen to me, this changes as you age and all of that. We got to have latitude and grace with ourselves. Dr. Brene Brown talks about living on a spectrum, right, where you kind of oscillate here and there. Cool, I'm down for it. But I want you to right now, what is the why of your life? Japanese culture, it's called ikigai. It's this really great confluence of 4 points. What am I passionate about? What am I good at? What does the world need? And what can I get paid for? Because I have an electricity bill. How about you? So I want you to think about this, and we don't have enough time to go deep, but the ikigai notion, this point of confluence, where you're thinking about all that we have, the world needs to get done, needs to activate it, and I want you to try and bring it to this point of confluence because it matters. When the day is rough, when someone quits, when the investor backs out, why are you doing what you're doing? Are you trying to change the world? Are you trying to provide for your family? Are you trying to, what is it? Don't be afraid of that. It's a big question. Okay, what? What are the principles or values I will root my life and career in? This is just a snapshot. I think it's 100 words. I think that's true. There's something about that. I want you to take a really quick, I'm going to give you 14 seconds. I want you to take a look at this list and whichever pop out, about 5. Write them down, please. Three seconds. Okay, Scott, what's the value of yours? Challenge. Stanton boys. Love it. Latifa, value. Tell me again. Achievement. I love it. Pam? Curiosity. Curiosity. Okay. Paul, value. Ah, love that. Meaningful work. It's awesome. It's really important that you have this central set of values. And when you're working with your colleagues, companies, even seeking investors, seeking business partners, people are going to pay you, you want to have this conversation. You want to be able to make sure that people are on a similar page. Not exact. We don't need groupthink here. But we want similarities. And if you see a value in conflict, if your business partner has a value that's in conflict with yours, how are you going to handle that? I want you to think about that. This is deep stuff, and it's worth the work. Because when you connect on values, it's a mission, guys. It changes the potential and the possibility of what a company can do to what a movement can do. How data can change and shape and impact the world for good, for growth, rooted in values. So how? I'm going to read this quote. I thought it was so good. So this is about professional rituals. Start as you mean to go on. Rituals are a natural way to begin the day or the week or really anything with intention. Beginnings provide employees time to pause, reflect, and connect. You can easily take something you already do in the morning with your employees and make it a beginning of the week ritual. Remember that a ritual is 100% intentional. So even something as simple as sending a morning check-in email with intention at the beginning of each week can be made into a ritual. Best case scenario, surround your experience in magic by opening and closing with ritual. And that's from Eric Keswin from Rituals Roadbook. I want to encourage you to figure out rituals and rhythms with yourself, with your family or your community, and your company. I want you to every month have an all, if you can control these variables, every month you need to have an all hands with your company, every month. And I want you to think of a ritual of everybody, all right, let's pitch out terrible ideas. Jared's gonna share, oh, this was like the worst idea I ever had for analytics, and making a community, again, an environment, a culture of it's okay to make mistakes. Because guess what? We fall down, we get our butts back up, we learn, and we move on. So I want you to think about how to create rituals of humor, of connection, a rhythm for you. I try to start my day by activating 5 senses. What do I want to hear, smell, taste, touch, and what's the 5th one? See, thank you. I want you to think about a way to nourish yourself in the morning, and it might be in the middle of the day, right? It's like, okay, I had a really bad client call. I had a really bad conversation. I had to let somebody go. What are some rituals that you can tap into those 5 senses that bring you back to yourself, that point of connectedness, of intentionality, of focus, of integrity? You can make that a part of your day. And guess what? When you set that kind of example, it gives people permission to operate in the same way, with intentionality, with excellence, being optimized, because they're operating head, heart, hands, right? Hey, last, with whom? Scott and I are actually talking about this. So with all of my clients, I'm sorry it's a little bit light here, but the Clifton Strengths Assessment, if you have not done it, go do it. It is $19.99. I wish I had an affiliate link. I would be retired. But this was such a life-giving thing. And Mr. Don Clifton says, what will happen when we think about what is wrong with people rather than fixating on, right with people, rather than fixating on what is wrong with them? It's a slip, right? In a culture and society where we're so critical of ourselves, our data, our partners, this or that, what am I not doing? Where am I failing? I really want you to take this very objective and have this as a data point about what am I really good at. This spoke a lot of life into me. I shared it on my first, I am strategic, 2nd, belief, 3, ideation, positivity, and activator. So basically, you give me something I believe in, I'm gonna connect the ideas and the people, and you better watch out. So I want you to take this, and I want you to step boldly into, this is what I'm really good at. I do not like this fake it till you make it stuff. That is not authentic. That is not you operating with integrity, okay? I want you to find your business partners and when you hire, to fill in the gaps, right? Like we need each other. Fill in the gaps of our strengths, okay? It's really, really helpful. It's very life-giving. So in closing, I want you to bring your full self, your head, your heart, and your hands, your community, and your team. And I want you to watch how your life, your community will change and grow for the better, all right? I know sometimes as super cerebral, linear, badass people that it's hard for you to take a moment, step back from all of the data because it's so numerous, to take a breath or 3, have a conversation and say, hey, I don't feel like I'm in my integrity right now. It feels like how I'm thinking about this, how I'm feeling about this business partner, this employee. We don't seem to share the same values and we can't seem to get on the same page. That's okay, that's authenticity. Because guess what, when you say no to an or no thank you to an employee, that gives them an opportunity to go find the yes. That gives you space and bandwidth for greatness, for growth. And so that's basically what I have for you today. Go forth. It's been such an honor. Thank you so much.